Ethan lay on his bed staring at the ceiling. Outside, the night was silent. Only the distant hum of the town's streetlights reached his window. He had always loved the quiet of the night. It was the time when he could think, the time when the stars above felt closest to him. For as long as he could remember, Ethan had loved the sky. Every evening he set up his small telescope by the window and studied the stars. Tonight was no different. He adjusted the lens, focusing on a cluster of bright stars near the horizon. Each flicker of light made him feel connected to something bigger than himself, something infinite. Suddenly, a soft glow filled his room. It was not the usual pale light from the street lamp. This light was warm, almost alive. Ethan sat up, rubbing his eyes. "What?" he whispered. The glow grew brighter. In the corner of his room, a figure appeared. Ethan froze. She was a woman, but unlike any woman he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered faintly, like the surface of a pearl under moonlight. Her eyes were deep, glowing with a calm blue light. She did not speak at first. She just stood there watching him with a mixture of curiosity and sadness. Ethan's heart pounded. Who are you?" he stammered. Finally she spoke. Her voice was soft, musical, and strangely soothing. "I've been searching for centuries, and now I have found you." Ethan blinked. The words felt impossible, yet the tone was filled with truth. "Searching? Centuries? What do you mean?" The woman stepped closer, her glow casting gentle shadows across the room. Ethan could see that she did not seem threatening. If anything, she seemed tired, as if she had carried the weight of many lifetimes. "My name is Liara," she said. "I come from a world far beyond your own. I have watched your planet for generations, waiting for the one who can help us. The one who can change the course of many worlds." Ethan swallowed hard. His mind raced. This has to be a dream. Or... He shook his head, trying to clear it. But the soft glow, the warmth, the weight of her gaze, everything felt real. "Change the course of worlds?" he asked. His voice was a whisper, unsure if he truly wanted an answer. Liara nodded. "Yes. You may not understand yet, but you are important. Humanity. You, specifically, hold a key that many have lost. I have been looking for centuries to find this key, and now I have found you." Ethan's mind struggled to process her words. He was just a young astronomer, a student of the skies. How could he be so important? How could a human even matter on such a cosmic scale? "Why me?" he asked finally. "I'm just me. I study stars. I can't." He trailed off, unable to finish the thought. Liara's eyes softened. "It is precisely because you are human. You possess qualities that are rare across the universe. Creativity, courage, compassion. These qualities can shape the future of civilizations. You will see soon enough." Ethan took a step back, glancing toward the window. The night sky looked the same, unchanged. And yet, now it seemed different. It seemed alive. Liara raised her hand slowly. A faint trail of light extended from her fingertips, illuminating a small, intricate device she held. Ethan noticed it pulsed with a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. "This is a message," Liara said. "A message from the stars, from my people. It has traveled across time and space, waiting for the right moment to reach you. It will explain why you are here, why you are important." Ethan's curiosity grew despite his fear. He stepped closer, reaching out toward the device. As his fingers brushed it, a wave of warmth and light surged through him. In that instant, images flashed before his eyes, galaxies spinning in harmony, civilizations rising and falling, and beings unlike any he had ever imagined. He gasped and stumbled backward. I see it. I see everything." Liara nodded. "Not everything yet, but you can feel it. the connection, the knowledge. It is a small part of what you are destined to understand. One day you will see it fully. Ethan sank onto his bed, overwhelmed. His room, once ordinary, now felt like the center of the universe. He looked at Liara and asked, almost breathlessly, "Why me? Why now?" "Because the moment has come," she said simply. "A darkness is coming, one that has threatened many worlds. You have the mind and heart to stand against it. I need your help to prepare. But first, you must trust me." Ethan shook his head, trying to make sense of it. "Trust you? I don't even know you. You just appeared in my room." Liara smiled faintly. "I know it is a lot to accept, but time is short. I did not come lightly. And I promise, I mean no harm." For a moment, Ethan simply stared at her. He wanted to believe, but the reality of the situation was staggering. Could a human really matter to beings across the galaxy? Could one young man truly change the fate of worlds? I don't know, he admitted finally. "This is too much. I can't just leave with you into wherever it is you're from." Liara nodded, her glow dimming slightly. "I understand. Fear is natural. But know this. The choice is yours and yours alone. I cannot force you. I can only wait, and I can only guide. You are ready, even if you do not believe it yet." Ethan felt a strange calm settle over him, despite the chaos of his thoughts. There was something about Liara's presence, something reassuring and wise. He realized that the stars he had loved all his life were no longer distant. They were calling him, and he could no longer ignore that call. "Will you show me more?" he asked finally, his voice trembling. Liara's smile widened, a soft glow radiating from her form. "Yes, but first, you must see the truth of what lies ahead. The universe is vast and there are forces beyond imagination. You will need to understand them, and you will need courage. Can you find that courage within yourself?" Ethan nodded slowly, unsure if it was courage or curiosity driving him. Perhaps it was both. Liara extended her hand once more. "Then take my hand. Let me show you what has waited for centuries. The journey begins tonight." Ethan hesitated, for a moment, glancing at his small room, at the familiar walls, the telescope by the window. And then, with a deep breath, he reached out. The moment his hand touched hers, a surge of warmth and light filled the room. Ethan felt as if he were being lifted, not just in body but in spirit. The walls of his room seemed to dissolve, replaced by a panorama of stars, nebulae, and distant galaxies. His heart raced. He had dreamed of the stars, of traveling among them, but nothing could have prepared him for this. Liara's voice came, softly, echoing in his mind. "Do not be afraid. You are ready, Ethan. The universe has waited long for this moment, and so have I." Ethan's fear began to fade, replaced by awe and wonder. For the first time in his life, he felt a true connection to the universe, a sense that he belonged not just to his small town but to something far greater. And as the light grew brighter and the stars swirled around him, Ethan realized that his life, the quiet nights of stargazing, the endless hours of studying constellations had all led to this moment. A moment that would change everything, not just for him, but for all of humanity. The night was no longer quiet. The universe had arrived in his room, and Ethan for the first time was ready to answer its call. Ethan could hardly believe what he was seeing. The room of his home, once familiar and ordinary, had vanished. Around him stretched an expanse of stars, nebulae, and glowing planets that shimmered like jewels in the endless darkness. His feet hovered above nothingness, yet he felt grounded, almost weightless. Liara floated beside him, her soft glow illuminating the cosmos around them. This is incredible," Ethan whispered. "I can see everything." Liara smiled. "It is only a glimpse, Ethan. The universe is far more vast than your mind can imagine, but you will learn, and you will understand. You are ready. Ethan hesitated, trying to focus. Ready? For what? I'm just a human. I study the stars, I read about space, but I've never done anything important. Liara's eyes glimmered with understanding. That is exactly why you are important. Many civilizations across the stars have great knowledge and power, but they lack something humans have: imagination, adaptability, and courage. These are traits that cannot be copied or taught, and it is precisely these traits that make you capable of standing against what is coming. Ethan's head spun. What is coming? Liara's glow dimmed slightly, as if sorrow shadowed her light. A darkness moves through the cosmos. It is not a being as you understand. It is a force that consumes life, intelligence, and light. Star systems vanish in its path. Entire civilizations have fallen, and now it moves closer to your world. Ethan felt a chill, though the warmth of Liara's presence surrounded him. Closer to Earth, but humans. We are so small. How could we matter? Liara's voice was gentle but firm. Small, yes. Weak, no. Humans have something even the greatest civilizations cannot claim: creativity born of necessity, courage born of imperfection, and hope born of struggle. These are what can turn the tide. Ethan swallowed hard. His heart raced. The thought of his tiny planet, filled with ordinary people, being part of some cosmic battle seemed impossible. Yet in front of him floated the undeniable truth of the stars glowing and alive. Why me? He asked again. Why now? Why not someone else? Liara extended her hand, showing a swirling map of stars and galaxies projected from her palm. Because of your ancestry, your bloodline carries a hidden thread of knowledge and potential. Centuries ago, humans, your ancestors, possessed abilities to sense patterns in the universe, to perceive connections between life and cosmic forces. Over time, much of this knowledge was lost, hidden in the genes and waiting to awaken. That is why I searched. That is why I found you. Ethan's mind raced. So, you're saying I'm special? Liara's eyes glimmered softly. Not special in the way you think. You are human. That alone is remarkable. But yes, you carry the spark that can rekindle something forgotten. And in these times, it is needed more than ever. Ethan glanced around the infinite sky. Stars twinkled like distant memories, and alien worlds spun silently. He realized that life was far greater and stranger than he had ever imagined. And yet, in all that vastness, he, a single human, could make a difference. The thought was terrifying but also exhilarating. What do I need to do? He asked. His voice trembled slightly, but there was a determination forming within him. Liara's expression grew serious. First, you must understand. Knowledge is power. There is a force in the universe called the Void, a darkness that seeks to consume civilizations, leaving nothing behind. It moves with patience and cunning. It has destroyed worlds that were once great, worlds filled with wisdom, beauty, and life. Ethan's stomach sank. And you think it will come to Earth? Yes, Liara said softly. But not because humans are weak. It comes because humans are unpredictable. You are capable of things the universe does not anticipate. And unpredictability can be a weapon if used wisely. Ethan shook his head. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm just me. I can't fight a cosmic force. Liara's hand rested lightly on his shoulder, and he felt a strange calm wash over him. You will not face it alone. I will guide you, but I cannot fight it for you. That is not the way of life or the way of courage. Humanity must rise, not be carried. Your mind, your heart, your choices, they matter more than you know. Ethan took a deep breath. The words were comforting, but also heavy with responsibility. He thought of his family, his friends, and the life he had known. Could he really leave all of it behind to face something he could barely imagine? Liara seemed to read his thoughts. You will not leave everything behind. You will return, changed, yes, but stronger. And what you learn here, what you discover about yourself, will shape the future of your people." Ethan looked into her glowing eyes and felt a sense of trust growing. There was honesty in her voice, a wisdom that seemed eternal. He felt as if the universe itself was whispering to him, calling him forward. "Show me," he said finally. "Show me what I need to know. I want to understand." Liara's smile returned, warm and gentle. "Good. We begin with the first lesson. Observation. Everything in the universe is connected. Stars, planets, life, thought, they all move in patterns. Some are obvious. Others are hidden, waiting to be discovered. Humans have the unique ability to see patterns that others miss." She guided him through a series of visualizations. Ethan watched star systems spin in complex orbits, watched energy flows across galaxies, and witnessed civilizations rise and fall. He saw planets of ice and fire, seas of liquid light, and cities built on floating continents. It was overwhelming, yet every image seemed to resonate deep within him. "These are not just sights," Liara said. "They are lessons. Every civilization you see faced challenges, made choices, and survived or fell. Learn from them, understand the connections, and remember, humanity has the same potential." Ethan tried to absorb it all. His mind felt like it was stretching, growing in ways he had never imagined. He realized that even the smallest action on Earth could ripple across the cosmos, affecting outcomes far beyond human comprehension. After what felt like hours, but might have been moments, Liara paused. "Now, we test your perception. I will show you a scenario and you must choose. There is no right or wrong, only insight." She projected a simulation of a world under threat, with a dark, creeping force approaching a civilization. Ethan watched as the beings of that world struggled, using technology and knowledge that seemed advanced yet failing to recognize the threat's pattern. "Humans may have failed," Liara said, "but you will see what they missed. Notice the subtle cues, the small actions that can change the outcome. This is where creativity and courage come into play. Observe carefully." Ethan's eyes darted across the simulation. He noticed patterns in the movement of the dark force, small inconsistencies in the actions of the civilization, and ways to redirect energy flows to prevent collapse. Slowly, a plan formed in his mind. I can do this," he whispered, more to himself than to Liara. "If they failed because they didn't see, then I can help. I can—" Liara nodded approvingly. "Yes, humans think in ways others cannot. You see connections, anticipate possibilities, and act with intuition. That is why you were chosen. That is why I searched for centuries." Ethan's heart raced. For the first time, he felt a purpose beyond his own small life. He understood that fear and doubt would always exist, but so would courage and potential, and now for the first time he felt ready to embrace both. "Tomorrow," Liara said, her glow fading slightly as the vision ended, "you will see the reality of what lies ahead. You will understand the stakes and the journey that awaits. But tonight, rest. The mind learns best when it is calm. The stars will guide you as they always have." Ethan floated in the vast darkness, looking at the endless stars. Sleep felt impossible, yet he felt a strange peace. For the first time, he was not just a boy staring at the sky. He was part of it. He was connected to something infinite, something alive. And somewhere deep within, he knew that humanity had a role to play in a story far larger than he had ever imagined. As the first light of a distant sun touched the edges of the cosmos, Ethan closed his eyes. He could feel the adventure beginning, a journey that would test his courage, his heart, and his mind. And he was ready to face it. The first light of a distant star bathed the edges of the vast cosmos. Ethan floated in awe, still processing everything Liara had shown him. His mind was filled with stars, civilizations, and a darkness that threatened entire galaxies. Yet, a new feeling had begun to grow inside him, curiosity and determination. He knew that the journey ahead would test him, but he could not turn back now. Liara extended her hand. It is time, Ethan. The next step is to see the universe, to understand it firsthand. You cannot prepare for the coming challenges by observing from afar. You must experience. Ethan nodded, gripping her hand with both of his. Instantly, they were surrounded by a gentle glow, and the vast darkness of space seemed to stretch around them like a living ocean. Then with a sudden rush they were moving. The stars streaked past him in brilliant lines of white, blue, and gold. The sensation was unlike anything he had ever felt, a mixture of weightlessness, speed, and freedom. Where are we going? Ethan asked, his voice trembling with excitement and fear. Liara's glow shimmered softly. Across the stars, to worlds you have never imagined. You will see civilizations, learn their stories, and understand the dangers that lie ahead. You will also see humanity's potential reflected in ways you cannot yet comprehend. The first stop was a planet of silver oceans and glowing forests. Ethan stared in amazement. Trees rose high into the sky, their leaves radiating soft light. Rivers of liquid crystal wound through the landscape, reflecting the twin suns above. Strange creatures moved gracefully, their shapes unlike anything he had seen on Earth. They are peaceful, Ethan murmured. They live in harmony with their world. Liara nodded. Yes, this civilization learned to balance their needs with the life around them. They have lasted thousands of years because they adapted, learned, and respected the natural order, but even they are not safe from the void. Ethan shivered. He thought about Earth, his home, and wondered if humans could achieve such balance. Yet, he felt a spark of hope. Maybe we can learn from them. Liara smiled faintly. You already are. Observation is the first step. Understanding follows, and action comes after understanding. That is the path of civilizations that endure. They moved on, traveling past glowing nebulae and star clusters. Ethan could hardly keep up with the wonders around him. He saw planets with oceans of fire, mountains taller than any on Earth, and cities floating in the skies. He saw beings who communicated with light, others who shaped energy with their minds, and creatures that traveled faster than light itself. Each world had a story. Some had risen to great heights only to fall because of arrogance or fear. Others had survived for millennia by being flexible and compassionate. Ethan felt small, yet part of something immense. He realized that the universe was not just vast. It was alive, and life, in all its forms, mattered. After hours of travel, Liara brought Ethan to a quieter place, a small moon orbiting a gas giant, with swirling clouds of gold and blue. Here they slowed, hovering above the surface. Here, Liara said, I will teach you about the void. You must understand it to stand against it. Many civilizations failed because they could not see it coming, because they underestimated the threat. You will not make the same mistake. Ethan watched as a shadow stretched across the stars. It moved like liquid darkness flowing through space with purpose and hunger. Ethan felt a chill. That, is it? The void? Yes, Liara said. It is not alive in the way you understand, yet it destroys life and intelligence with precision. It consumes entire systems, leaving nothing behind, and it is coming closer to your world. Ethan's mind raced. He thought of his family, his friends, and the Earth itself. Could humans really stand against such a force? His chest tightened, but he remembered Liara's words. Humanity's strength lies in creativity, courage, and hope. I don't know how we can stop it, Ethan admitted. It seems unstoppable. Liara's glow pulsed softly, reassuring him. You cannot rely on brute force. That is why humans are needed. You think differently, act unpredictably, and create solutions that no one else can. That is your power, and you will learn to use it. For the next cycle of a moon day, Liara taught Ethan how to read the subtle flows of energy in the universe. She showed him how civilizations responded to threats, how patterns of destruction could be predicted, and how small actions could create enormous ripples across space. Ethan absorbed everything eagerly, his mind working faster than ever before. "You see patterns," Liara said, "even where others see chaos. That is the gift of humanity, and it is why you were chosen." Ethan felt a swell of pride mixed with responsibility. "So, I am not just a human. I am part of something bigger. I can help." "Yes," Liara said, her eyes glowing brighter. "And you will. But first you must test your understanding. Observation alone is not enough. Action is needed. You will face simulations of the void, and you must decide the best course. Do not be afraid to fail. Failure is a teacher, Koibi." First simulation appeared before them like a holographic display. A star system was under threat, a creeping darkness moving toward planets full of life. Ethan watched the movements carefully, noticing the smallest shifts, the weak points, the potential ways to redirect the energy. He hesitated, then acted. Using intuition and logic, he adjusted the flow of planetary defenses, creating a path that diverted the darkness away from the living world. The simulation paused and Liara smiled. "You did well," she said. "Most would have panicked or done nothing. Humans see possibilities where others see inevitability. Remember this, Ethan. That is your strength." Ethan felt a surge of confidence. He was learning. He was seeing that even in the face of impossible odds, humanity could find a way. As they continued their journey, they passed an ancient civilization that had been nearly destroyed by the void centuries ago. Ruined cities floated silently in space, glowing faintly with residual energy. Liara explained how their leaders had ignored small warnings, believing their power was enough. "Do not make the same mistake," she said. "The universe tests all who live in it. Only those who adapt and act survive." Ethan nodded. He could feel the weight of responsibility settling on him, but also a growing sense of purpose. He thought of Earth, of the people he loved, and he realized that his courage and ingenuity could indeed matter on a cosmic scale. Finally, Liara brought him to a quiet observation point above a massive star. The star burned brightly, sending waves of light across the surrounding nebulae. "Here, Ethan," she said softly. "You must make a choice. You can continue to observe, or you can begin to prepare. The universe is vast, but your journey starts now. Humanity's future may depend on the choices you make." Ethan gazed at the blazing star, feeling both small and immense. He remembered the quiet nights he had spent studying the stars from his bedroom, dreaming of what lay beyond. And now the universe was real and he was part of it. I want to help," he said finally. "I want to learn. I want to understand, and I want to do what I can." Liara's smile radiated warmth. "Then the journey truly begins. There will be dangers, challenges, and moments when fear will press upon you. But remember this. Humans have a power that cannot be measured by technology or strength. Your mind, your heart, and your courage are gifts. Use them wisely." As Ethan floated above the star, he felt a new determination rising within him. He was no longer just a boy who loved the night sky. He was part of something greater, something alive and infinite. And he knew that the journey ahead, though difficult, would reveal the true strength of humanity. The stars stretched endlessly before him, and Ethan understood that he was ready to face whatever came next. The universe was vast, mysterious, and sometimes dangerous, but it was also full of wonder, possibility, and hope. And for the first time in his life, Ethan felt that humans could not only survive in the cosmos, they could thrive. The stars stretched endlessly around Ethan as he floated beside Liara. For the first time, the reality of what lay ahead pressed down on him, not just the wonder of the universe, but the danger it held. The void was moving closer, a darkness that consumed everything it touched, and Ethan knew that he would soon face a challenge unlike any he had imagined. Liara turned to him, her glow steady and reassuring. The time has come for your first true test. Observation and understanding are important, but now action is required. You must use what you have learned to confront a fragment of the void. Ethan swallowed hard. A fragment? You mean it's only part of it? Yes, Liara said. The void is vast and it moves with patience. Even this fragment is dangerous. Many civilizations have fallen simply because they underestimated it. But humans have something no other species does: intuition, creativity, and courage. That is why you were chosen. Ethan nodded, trying to steady his racing heart. He felt a mixture of fear and determination. I can do this, he told himself. I have to. Liara led him to a small star system under threat. 3 planets orbited a bright sun, each with life of its own. Ethan could see the cities, forests, oceans, and skies. The void fragment, a swirling mass of black and silver energy, approached slowly, almost deliberately. Its presence seemed to drain the light and warmth from the planets below. Ethan shivered. The darkness was unlike anything he had ever imagined. It was not just empty. It felt alive, calculating, patient. Liara's voice broke his focus. You have learned the patterns. You know how civilizations rise and fall. Now you must act. Find a way to protect these worlds. You will not be alone. I am here to guide. But the choices are yours. Ethan took a deep breath. His mind raced. He recalled the simulations, the lessons about energy flows and cosmic patterns. He thought about humans on Earth, how they solve problems with creativity and intuition. Maybe he could find a solution here too. He focused, letting his mind scan the system. He noticed that the void fragment moved in predictable pulses, as if it was probing for weaknesses. The planet's natural defenses were strong, but uncoordinated. Ethan realized that if he could redirect energy between the planets, he could create a barrier strong enough to repel the fragment. Liara, he said, I think I can do it. We can use the planet's magnetic fields. If we synchronize them, we might be able to push it back. Liara's eyes glowed with approval. Good. Trust your intuition, Ethan. Humans can see possibilities that others miss. Use your insight. Ethan extended his hands, and the energy of the system responded to him. He visualized the magnetic fields, the currents of energy connecting the planets, and he adjusted them with careful precision. The void fragment approached, testing his plan, but Ethan stayed calm. He focused on the rhythm, the patterns, the flow. Slowly, the fragment began to falter. It pulsed and writhed as if resisting, but Ethan's calculations held. The energy barrier between the planets strengthened, forming a shimmering shield of light and force. This is working, Ethan exclaimed, a mixture of relief and excitement in his voice. Yes, Liara said softly. You see the patterns and you act. That is the strength of humanity. Courage and creativity combined can achieve what brute force cannot. The fragment surged forward, more aggressive now. Ethan's hands trembled slightly, but he pushed on, adjusting the fields, redirecting energy, and using every lesson Liara had taught him. The void responded, shifting and probing, trying to find a weakness. Ethan's mind raced. He realized that this was more than a test of intelligence. It was a test of human spirit. He thought of Earth, of people who faced challenges every day and found ways to survive and thrive. He thought of Liara's words about unpredictability and hope. He understood now that the void could not anticipate the creativity of humans. He acted boldly, combining planetary energies in a new pattern, one that the fragment did not expect. Light exploded in the system, pushing the darkness back. The void fragment shrieked in a strange echoing sound, recoiling from the unexpected strategy. Ethan's heart pounded. The planets trembled. The stars flickered, but slowly the fragment was contained. It recoiled and moved away, defeated for now. Ethan sank to his knees in the void, exhausted, but exhilarated. I did it, he whispered. He could hardly believe it. A human mind had outwitted a force that had destroyed civilizations. Liara's glow softened, and she floated closer. Yes, Ethan, you did it. Humanity has potential beyond measure. You faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, and you acted with courage and wisdom. That is what makes you strong. Ethan looked up at her, breathing heavily. But it's only a fragment. The real void is still out there. Liara nodded solemnly. Yes, this was only a test, but it was a necessary one. You have learned that observation, understanding, and action must work together. You have learned that human courage and creativity are powerful tools. But the true challenge lies ahead, when the full force of the void approaches your world. Ethan felt a chill, but it was tempered by pride. He realized that fear did not have to paralyze him. He could face the impossible and make a difference. Ethan, Liara continued, many civilizations fail not because they lack power, but because they lack hope and adaptability. Humans possess both. That is why you were chosen. That is why I searched for centuries. Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of her words. I understand. I will not fail. I'll do whatever I can to protect humanity. Liara smiled, a gentle glow surrounding her. I know you will. And you are not alone. Together we will continue to prepare, to learn, and to face what is coming. But remember, humanity's strength is not just in numbers or technology. It is in your courage, your creativity, and your ability to hope when all seems lost. Ethan took a deep breath, letting the words sink in. He had faced the first test, and he had survived. He had seen the potential of humans to act where others might fail, to find solutions that no one else could. And he had felt something new, responsibility and purpose. Liara's glow brightened, signaling the end of their training for now. Rest, Ethan. You have done well. Tomorrow we will continue, and I will show you more about the void and how it can be stopped. But tonight, remember this. You have proven that humans can rise to challenges that even the stars themselves fear. Ethan nodded, feeling a calm determination wash over him. He floated quietly, looking at the planets he had saved, the fragment of darkness he had defeated, and the infinite expanse around him. For the first time, he felt a deep connection to the universe, and to the responsibility he carried. Won't let you down, he whispered to Liara and to himself. I will protect Earth, I will find a way. Liara's glow dimmed slightly, her presence warm and reassuring. You already have, Ethan. You already have. As the stars stretched around him, Ethan understood something profound. Humanity was small, yes, but capable of extraordinary things. Courage, intelligence, creativity, and hope could turn the tide against even the most overwhelming darkness. And now, he had seen it firsthand. The night stretched on, but Ethan no longer felt fear. The void would come, yes, but he and humanity would stand. They would rise. And when the time came, humans would show the universe the power of their spirit. And somewhere, deep in the cosmos, Liara watched, proud and hopeful, as the young human embraced the first true test of his destiny. The stars shimmered around Ethan as he floated beside Liara. After the first test against the void fragment, he had learned something profound. Humans were small, yes, but capable of unimaginable courage and creativity. But nothing could have fully prepared him for what lay ahead. Liara's glow pulsed softly. Ethan, the time has come. The void approaches your world in full force. The lessons, the simulations, and the fragment you faced were only preparation. Now, you must put everything you have learned into action. Ethan took a deep breath. He felt fear, yes, but it was tempered by determination. I can do this. I must do this. Humanity depends on it. They arrived at a point in space near Earth, and Ethan gasped. The void was massive, a swirling darkness that stretched across the void between stars. It moved with intent, devouring everything in its path. Ethan could see the planets, asteroids, and the distant sun, and he realized how close it was to his home. Liara's voice broke through his thoughts. The void tests civilizations before consuming them. You must act, Ethan. Not with weapons or force, but with your mind, your courage, and your creativity. Humanity has something this darkness cannot understand. Ethan nodded, feeling a strange calm. He focused on the patterns of the void, noticing its pulses and movements. Unlike the simulations, this was real. Entire worlds could fall if he failed. His hands reached out instinctively, touching the invisible currents of energy surrounding the void. Remember, Liara said, humans see connections others cannot. Trust your intuition. Ethan thought of Earth, his family, his friends, and all the people who had lived and would live there. He thought of their creativity, their courage in small and great ways, and he realized that humanity was stronger than even he had imagined. He began to act. The void moved toward Earth, its dark tendrils stretching across space, but Ethan saw a pattern. By redirecting energy between planets, adjusting the flow of cosmic currents and creating a new formation of light, he could slow its advance. Liara guided him with soft words, but she did not interfere. This was Ethan's moment. He adjusted, energy fields forming a barrier of light that shone brightly against the darkness. The void pulsed, probing for weaknesses, but Ethan anticipated its moves. He stayed calm, thinking quickly, acting boldly. For hours, or maybe minutes, time felt strange. Ethan worked tirelessly. He combined human intuition with Liara's cosmic guidance, creating a strategy that no civilization could have foreseen. The void shrieked in a soundless roar, recoiling from the unexpected resistance. Ethan's heart pounded. "It's working," he whispered. His hands moved with precision, energy bending and twisting to form a shield of light around Earth. "Yes," Liara said softly. "Your courage and creativity are stronger than the darkness. This is the strength of humanity." The void surged one final time, pushing against Ethan's defenses. He felt the immense pressure, but he did not falter. He drew on every lesson, every pattern he had learned, every spark of human ingenuity. Slowly, the darkness began to retreat, unable to penetrate the shield he had created. Ethan let out a deep breath. The void receded, moving away from the planets it had threatened. Earth was safe, for now. And in that moment, Ethan realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors of the mind and spirit, capable of shaping the universe itself. Liara floated beside him, her glow warm and proud. "Ethan, you have done what many believed impossible. You have protected not just your world, but demonstrated the power of humanity. Courage, creativity, and hope. These are gifts that no darkness can consume." Ethan looked at the stars, at the receding void, and felt a surge of pride and relief. I did it," he whispered. "I actually did it." "You did," Liara said softly. "And this is only the beginning. The universe will continue to challenge you, but remember what you learned. Humanity has potential beyond measure. You can rise to any challenge, overcome any darkness, and create a future full of hope and light." Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility and the joy of achievement. He thought of Earth, of all the people who had never seen the stars as he had, and he realized that they too could rise. Humans had something no other civilization had: the power to imagine, to act, and to hope against impossible odds. Liara's glow dimmed slightly, signaling that it was time to return. "You must go back now, Ethan. Your world awaits, and your people will need your guidance, but know this: you carry the light of humanity within you, and that light will shine brighter than any darkness." Ethan nodded, a mixture of awe and determination filling him. "I'll return, stronger, and I'll help humanity rise." Liara extended her hand, and Ethan grasped it. In an instant, they were back near Earth, floating above the familiar blue and green planet. Ethan could see cities, forests, oceans, and mountains. Everything seemed ordinary, yet he knew it was anything but. He had changed. Humanity had changed. He looked at Liara. "Thank you for everything. I understand now. Humans are small, yes, but we are capable of so much more." Liara's glow brightened with a soft smile. "Yes, Ethan, and now you must share this knowledge, this courage, and this hope. Humans must prepare, learn, and grow, and you will lead the way not by power but by example." Ethan felt a deep sense of purpose. For the first time, he saw himself not just as a boy from a quiet town, but as part of something vast and magnificent. Humanity had a place in them, stars, and he had seen it firsthand. "Will you stay?" he asked softly. Liara shook her head, her glow fading gently. "My work is done here, for now. I will continue to watch over humanity, but your people must rise on their own. You have the strength to inspire them. And remember, humans are unpredictable, and that is their greatest gift." Ethan nodded, understanding fully. The stars above seemed brighter, full of promise. The void had been repelled, but more challenges would come. Yet he was no longer afraid. He had seen the power of courage, creativity, and hope. He had seen what humans could do when they dared to rise. As Liara faded into the distance, Ethan looked down at Earth. The night was calm, peaceful, yet alive with possibility. He could see lights from cities, the quiet glow of oceans, and the stars reflected in rivers and lakes. Humanity was small, but it was capable of greatness. Ethan returned to his home, stepping quietly into his bedroom. The telescope sat where he had left it, and the night outside was familiar. Yet everything had changed. He was no longer just a boy gazing at the stars. He was a human who had touched the universe and seen the potential of his species. He sat by the window, staring up at the night sky. Each star seemed to call to him, whispering of possibilities, adventures, and futures yet to be written. He knew that the void might return, that challenges awaited, but he was ready. Humanity was ready. And somewhere deep in his heart, Ethan felt the spark of hope that could not be extinguished. Humans had the power to rise, to create, and to shine in the darkest of times. They had the courage to face the impossible, and the universe would never forget it. As the night stretched on, Ethan smiled. The stars were alive, the cosmos vast, and humanity's story had only just begun. And in that story, he knew, humans would rise stronger than any darkness, guided by courage, creativity, and hope. Ethan closed his eyes, letting the calm of the night fill him. He knew the journey ahead would be long, but he was ready. Humanity was more than survival. It was greatness waiting to be realized. And he, a single human from a small planet, had seen it, lived it, and would help it shine. The stars above shimmered softly, like a promise. And for the first time, Ethan felt the infinite power of humanity, a force no darkness could ever destroy.